Reading is critical for business owners and entrepreneurs. I get asked all the time about book recommendations. And so I want to put together this video that are the top 10 books that people interested in starting a business should dive into. And I'm going to organize it in chronological order in terms of my opinion on what should be read first, number 1 through 10. These are all books that have impacted me in small or large ways along the last 20 years of entrepreneurship. So I simply wanted to share this with you in case you are on this journey or know someone that's on the entrepreneurial journey. So let's dive in. We're going to start with mindset. That's really the foundation when it comes to entrepreneurship or business ownership. And the first book I want to mention was mentioned to me back in 1996 by an economics teacher in high school. It's Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. This book is all about the right mindset. It's all about how to set up your network using this concept called mastermind groups. But really at the end of the day, instead of it being about those around you, although that's important, it's about what's inside of you. It's about this idea of imagining your future and then taking the steps to make it happen. Now, it's also got a cool vibe because it was written back in the 40s, but it's really interesting because you also get a snapshot of business history as Napoleon Hill is interviewing the titans of the day. The second book I'm going to recommend, once again in chronological order, is Rich Dad, Poor Dad. It's a parable of Robert Kiyosaki's life, and he talks about his two fathers. His biological father, who worked for the government and was more of a guy that checked the boxes and never built wealth, and then his friend's father, who was hugely influential in his growth as a businessman and an entrepreneur. Rich Dad, Poor Dad was introduced to me when I was 19 years old, and it was groundbreaking in terms of helping me think about, what do I want? Do I want a career? Do I want to work for someone else? Or do I want to build something for myself and my family? Now, coming in at number 3 is The Millionaire Next Door, another book that's about mindset. And what's cool about this book is it talks about misconceptions about those that have wealth. When I talk about wealth, I'm not talking about just annual income. I'm talking about assets that generate income on a regular basis. You'd be really surprised to hear about some frugality of those that are wealthy, some techniques that they use to manage their lifestyle and control, like this demon on the shoulder that's always wanting you to spend more and consume more. So The Millionaire Next Door is really a great book about those types of topics to help you get into the right mindset of someone that is a wealth builder. Now, the fourth book is the EMyth, and this is a classic when it comes to entrepreneurship. In this book, you realize the power of systems, the power of creating a business that can be replicated, it can be carried out by others. This is the book that's going to get a person from owning a job to truly owning a business. Now, the definition of an entrepreneur is someone that can take resources, people, money and capital, ideas, equipment, take all of those things and turn them into something bigger than themselves. It's actually quite the opposite of having a job, or what I like to call owning a job. The next book on the list, coming at number 5, is James Clear's Atomic Habits. James Clear is brilliant. You really need to subscribe to his newsletter. Just an amazing thought leader in the business realm. And Atomic Habits is all about how these small things we can set up in our life really pay off over the long run. He talks about how to leverage human nature, turn these things that sometimes work against us from a human nature perspective into things that help us. It's a great read and a great segue from this concept of entrepreneurship into true execution. Now, coming in at number 6 is Traction. And if you follow me at all, you know that I am a Traction or EOS aficionado. I think it is the single best operating system for running your business. And quite frankly, I use it for running my personal life, and I've actually helped implement it in some non-business settings over the last number of years. Traction is the seminal book that talks about EOS and explains what it is and how to roll it out. Now, I'm the type of guy that likes a here's how to do it element of every book I read, and there's a chapter in this book that literally walks you through how to implement Traction or EOS in your business. Gino Wickman is brilliant for creating this ecosystem, and I will never, ever be involved in, own, or run a business that doesn't run on EOS in the future. I find it to be that critical. Now, as you're on this entrepreneurial journey, it's important to talk about money. And the first money book I recommend at number 7 is Michalowicz's Profit First. This is a pretty simple book with very simple takeaways, but it helps you get around this mindset that profit is critical. There's some astounding statistics out there in terms of how many businesses are unprofitable. And this book talks about why that is and how you can set up your business to be different. Now, there are a few elements of this book that might seem a little oversimplified or maybe even a little bit repetitive, but Profits First is a system that we've been running in our businesses for the last 8 or 9 years, and it's been a game changer. The 8th book I'd recommend is Built to Sell. This book talks about the fact that if you build a business with this mindset of selling it, not necessarily that you're going to sell it, but you're building it through the lens of perhaps selling it down the road, you're going to create a business that's actually great to own as well. John Warrillow is a brilliant speaker and a brilliant author. And this book is all about how to make your business both desirable from a potential buyer's perspective, but more importantly, make it desirable for you as the business owner. So if Profits First is your introduction to financial elements of entrepreneurship, then Simple Numbers is your graduate course. And there's actually 2 books as part of this series. There's Simple Numbers and Simple Numbers 2.0. But Greg Crabtree is a brilliant accountant, and his Simple Numbers process of setting up your financials is game changing. He's going to talk to you about concepts like direct labor efficiency rate. He's going to talk to you about net profitability you should expect for your business. But more importantly, he's going to help you create an entire financial framework for your company that you can use to both monitor the past, but also forecast for the future. And the last book I'd recommend for aspiring entrepreneurs or even those that are currently in the game but wanting to learn more is Who Not How. Who Not How is a book by Daniel Sullivan and Benjamin Hardy, and it is an amazing look at the power of delegation. And in this book, they talk about more than just your simple delegation, more than just handing things off to members of your team. They're really challenging the reader to find all the ways in life that you can be doing the things that you are best at while leaning on those in your life that are best at what they do. This is all about working within your zone of genius and offloading everything else. I put it at number 10 because it's really critical as you get into a business, as you own a business, as you start a business, to very quickly be thinking about how you can bring people around you that are better at things than you are, but you got to master those other things first. So there you go. Those are 10 books I'd recommend to any aspiring entrepreneur or anybody that is in the middle of their business and wanting to learn more about execution. I produce a weekly newsletter called the Scott Monday Newsletter. I know, brilliant title. I would love to have you as a subscriber. It's over on Substack. I'll link that up. I post once a week about small business acquisition, about running great businesses, about people, profit, about culture, about customers, all those types of things. Would love to have you subscribe. Would love to be learning and growing with you in the years to come together.